Hello, I'm Henry Mancini, and after many, many years of involvement in music, I know how vital the connection is between music and learning. My first contact with music was through my dad. He was a flute player as well as a steel worker, and he put a piccolo in my hand when I was about 8 years old. That's what started me in. I went through the public school system in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, up through high school, played in the band, took my music lessons. But it's easy to take music for granted, to not think about where all the songs and singers and the symphonies come from. But we should. We should think about it because music affects our lives every day. Through music and the other arts, we can capture life, reflecting its joys, its sorrows, and its complexities. Music can help us discover parts of ourselves we didn't know existed, and to share our innermost feelings with others. But music doesn't just happen. It has to be written, performed, and heard. So, as much as people need music, music needs people, and music making is starting to suffer. Think about the place music and the other arts have in American education today. Lately, there's been a lot of discussion about national goals for our schools and students. The president and the nation's governors have urged more focus on math and science to bolster academic achievements. Americans support those goals. But did you notice, in all this discussion about the 3 R's, there is no mention of the forgotten R, the arts. And where there is no voice, no one hears. But people must hear, because the arts are where we have the best chance of passing on to our young people the real essence of our civilization. You see, you can't measure a country's success just by the number of its engineering or English degrees. An enlightened citizenry and a truly productive workforce require a balanced education. But our young people aren't getting that crucial balance. Nationally, more than half our elementary schools either have no music teacher or at best are served by part-time instructors. Only 30 states require some form of arts education for high school graduation. And in 25 of them, that requirement is met by completing just a single course. And what students are not getting shows. Last time music education was assessed by the federal government, we learned that music knowledge had declined over the previous 10-year period. Even though nearly all school districts offer music, only a third of our students take music after the 8th grade. And that neglect carries into the adult years. One survey shows that less than 4 out of 10 Americans attended a live music performance in the previous 12 months. According to a 1988 study by the National Endowment for the Arts, the education our young children receive in music and the other arts has 3 main characteristics: inconsistency, imbalance, and inaccessibility. The plain fact is, if we passed out our food for our children's bodies in equal measure to the food we give their imaginations and spirits, many of them would be starving. It really comes down to this. Too few of our children are getting an education in music, and they are the poorer for it. Sure, kids do sing along with the radio, but too few of them are learning to play what they hear. So they lose out on one of the best ways to develop self-expression, and even more importantly, self-esteem. And those aren't just music skills, they're life skills.
2, 3, 4.
It all comes together in the schools. That's where the vast majority of young people get their first exposure to music as something more than just part of their general surroundings. So, the first thing we have to do in every one of the nation's 100,000 public and private schools is this. We have to retire the myth that says music and the other arts are a frill, that they don't have a payoff in later life, the way math and history do. That's just not true. And we need to show people that music instruction strongly reinforces just about every important skill children learn in school. Things like using and manipulating symbols, developing eye-hand coordination, reasoning and problem solving, communicating with others, as well as developing the values that are crucial to success in later life: perseverance, commitment, and discipline. There is every reason to put music and the other arts at the core of what we want our children to learn and enjoy. But the principals and superintendents and school boards won't put music and the other arts at the core of the curriculum until and unless they know what you think. There are 16,000 school districts across the country, and each one is different. And in each of them, the local school and school board are where the action is. The only people who can make a real difference there are you, parents, citizens, and taxpayers who support public education. So those of us who care about music, teachers, parents, the whole music community, we are the key to whether our children become music makers or whether the silence keeps on closing in. It's up to us.